Welcome back to Creative Crafted Life. My name is Melanie, and we're going to be dealing with some art journaling, junk journaling supplies that I have in my Alex drawer unit. And I'm going to start off with a bang here where I lost some of my footage. Well, actually, I think the issue was more that I took a photo instead of hitting the record button. And so I don't really have um, the true before, but I do have mostly the before. Now, to be honest, these drawers won't look too terribly bad as far as neatness goes, but they're not very functional. And I think that's really what I'm trying to achieve with this reorganization. I struggle with art journaling supplies because there's so much of it that's kind of odds and ends and bits and pieces. So this is my attempt at getting this to be a little bit more functional. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips or techniques for taking care of your art journal supplies.
Okay, so this is what the drawer is looking like now that I've removed all those, well, majority of the embellishments. So I've got the scrap bin and the other paper bin, some 6x6 paper pads. These are like some large butterfly embellishments and a journaling prompt. I don't think I'm going to keep these chipboard borders, but we'll see. Those are those 3x4 paper pads I was showing you earlier, a deck of cards, some of those Tim Holtz, I can't remember what they're called. They're little stitched canvas things. And then I have a few 4x6 containers. I'm not sure that this is going to stay here or then we keep them in the 4x6, but for now they work. So let's move on to the other drawer. Okay, so just a refresher of what this drawer looks like. I don't even remember what's all in here. Looks like a lot of tissue paper, probably layering pieces, that kind of stuff. So let's pull it out and see what's what. Okay, I pulled most everything out. I've got this large roll of tissue paper. I have some old magazines that I would use for junk journaling. They're too big to fit in like an 8.5 by 11 case, so the best place for them is likely to be just laid out flat like they are. And then I have an old dictionary that I can rip papers out of, etc. I have thought about ripping out a few pages and storing them, but then I still have to store this somewhere. So I think for now, this is just going to live in this drawer, but let me go over to the desk and show you what I did pull out, and we'll see if we can switch anything up. I'm thinking not too much, but we'll see. I got a big pile of stuff from the one drawer on my desk. I have basically 3-4 categories, I guess. I've got stickers, ephemera, chipboard. Then I've got like metal embellishments, tiles, labels, those kind of things. And then I've got paper, layering items, bags, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and washi tape, and I think that's it. So I am not sure where I'm going to head with this. I also have a tin full of scraps, and these are little just bits and pieces of things. Again, all really great for art journaling. Yes, I'm not going to get rid of anything in here, and I like this bin. I may end up putting some of the other paper bits I have in here if they'll fit. I do have a second one if I need it. So this is paper. Okay, let me show you what I've come up with so far. Nothing innovative, although I am happy with one thing that I did do with this binder. So this is a brand new binder. It is black, and all my other binders are white. This just happened to be something that was available, and I'm okay with it being black, thinking that this is going to denote it from my regular scrapbooking stuff, as this really is primarily for journaling, whether it's art journaling, junk journaling, that kind of thing. So in the front, I thought I would have a section for words. So I do have more of these spread throughout my craft room. I will probably find them over time and move them into here. Then I'm going to have the paper dolls, and then moving into the different ephemera. So the packs that I had in that drawer that I showed earlier, I have transferred them all over on to page protectors. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. Then I did have in those white binders some Tim Holtz pages already set up, kind of what I was calling vintage. So I moved those over into this binder so that they're all in one place. So this is nothing new. This was already in place. These are not Tim Holtz. These are from, I want to say, My Mind's Eye. I could be wrong. I think it is from their Lost and Found collections. But this has a very similar feel and aesthetic, so I think this makes sense to put them in here. I had some stickers, and all I did was I just adhered the backing of the stickers to the page rather than the individual stickers. That way I don't have to worry about them overly sticking. I know that some people have had issues with that. Generally speaking, I haven't, unless the stickers are really thin, and these are on the thinner side. They are like a clear sticker. This is what I'm really excited about. So I had some of these large panels, and they don't fit any of my existing storage for paper or cardstock. And I did want to keep them together, and so they were just buried in that drawer. So I just put them into an 8.5 by 11 page protector. I love how this is. I can easily pull them out. I can flip through them in the pocket. Looks great. I also had, sorry for the glare, I also had this 8 by 8 paper with that like metallic mixed media finish on them. And again, I just split it in half, put it in a page protector. Love this. I had these paper bags also to be used for journals. That's why I bought them. And I just stuck them in the page protector as well. And then I had a 49 and Market 8 by 8 collection packs that, again, I don't have any 8 by 8 paper storage solutions. It's kind of one of those outliers. I maybe had a couple pads. It's not worth coming up with a bin or something for. So I did throw these in here because they kind of have a vintagey look. This isn't perfect, but I don't have another binder. So it may be over time that these will move into a different binder. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe I'll eventually do a project with them. That is my intent, is to do like a mini album or a mini journal using the collection pack. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the other binder where the stuff was, some of the stuff was originally. So these are my original die cut sticker binders, and I had this one flagged as vintage, and I still have a few things in here. These ones probably could get transferred over into that other binder, but these stickers themselves really lend themselves more to scrapbooking, which is why I left this page in here. On all of these My Mind's Eye Lost and Found, again, I think while I could use them for journaling, I can also use these quite easily for scrapbooking, and so I left them in here. Now, all of these cutesy vintage, or maybe they're called retro, images from Pretty Little Studio, I left in here. I don't know that I would use these for scrapbook layouts. Probably would be more for journaling or cards. And so because they kind of fall into that card, can fall into that card category, I added them here as well, because I will also use these binders for card making. And they just really didn't go with Tim Holtz stuff, so it didn't make sense to leave them in that binder. And then I had some October Afternoon as well that I added in here. You'll notice at the end I still have some Tim Holtz. This is Christmas. I do want to have a Christmas section somewhere. I'm just not sure where. So I might just move this over to that other binder for now. I think there's still a little bit of space in there instead of leaving it in here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. That is it for all the die cuts, ephemera, and paper, other than scraps and then the smaller layering elements from Tim Holtz, which I'm going to show you here right now. As mentioned earlier, I have a couple of these tins. I just got these from Hobby Lobby. They were on sale, and they kind of go with that whole vintage vibe, so why not? So these are where I put all of those layering elements, and I also put like any of the larger die cut pieces instead of putting them in the binder because it would just take up so much space. This is easy enough to flip through, and really this is practically paper anyways. So that is in this tin. And this tin hasn't changed any. These are all my little scrap bits that I can use for collage, etc. So no change there. I do still have a few of these like 3x4 pocket cards, and these cards as well from Authentique and Mary Engelbright. I don't know what I'm doing with these. I don't really want to take them out of the pad, but I don't know. Not too sure yet. So for now, I'm just going to leave them aside, but like, you know, and maybe by the end of this video, I'll have a solution. We'll see. Now moving on to the rest of the embellishments. I'm going to tackle the easy stuff first. So I have two 6x6 pads again. Oh, actually, I think they're individual sheets. I'm going to put those in that first drawer with those other 6x6 pads so they're all together. Okay, so what do I have left? I have some crepe paper that I've unwound off of spools. And then I have more layering pieces, but these are larger pieces, not like scraps, which is why they're in here. Some of that wallpaper, so I think I might put this in the binder with those other pieces of wallpaper just so they're all together. Some little golden books, that kind of stuff. So I do want to keep this. I don't know that I necessarily love this idea, so that may change. And then in here I have tissue paper, which I don't have an excessive amount, so it does actually work, and it does keep it somewhat orderly and contained. So we'll see how that goes. And then I have some envelopes and an extra folder, again, just in case I want to use them for a journal or something. I've got some doilies, which I have stored elsewhere, so I'm going to move those. And then I have pages ripped out of books, layering elements, that kind of stuff. The rest of the books are stored elsewhere, kind of like what I wanted to avoid with the dictionary, but you know, it is what it is. I've got some columnar paper, and I've got a National Geographic that I want to try and do some techniques on. So there's those. And then I have these cards, these Vintage Rose cards, which I think I'm actually going to cut these apart and store them with the ephemera. What I was thinking is that all of this 8.5 by 11 stuff, maybe I can fit that in one of these containers. This is a Totally Tiffany storage and supply paper taker. I'll show you what it looks like assembled. It looks like one of these. It has the Velcro across the top, and it folds back, and there's like a plastic tray on the inside. So I could treat this almost like a file box. I'm thinking maybe that's what I want to do. For anything that's not 8.5 by 11, I think I'd be okay with trimming it down. I don't think I need to keep it that big. So the question is though, do I take these layering papers and move them in there? I'm not sure. So let me try playing around with this stuff first, see how much room I have, and if this even makes sense. Okay, so all those papers that I had, including the bags and the different layering elements, all fit in this particular bag, so I'm happy with that. And then I decided to leave the tissue in the folder with the crepe paper streamers, and I really didn't have to trim off too much, so I'm happy with that. So the only thing I have left, I think, is to cut these apart and then show you where these two drawers end up. Okay, so the curse of the dreaded domino has hit again. So this was the one that I wanted to just leave, but you'll notice that this is a thinner drawer than the bottom three. And I was thinking I wanted those tins, so these tins, to go in this drawer, and this would be all my layering elements, and then the second drawer would be embellishments. Makes sense, right? Only the tin doesn't fit. So we got to swap drawers around. Okay, so I think I've got this all sorted out as best as I'm going to, I think. So I've got all the tissue, those little bits of canvas, stitched canvas, some little tiny pots of clips, those cards, a few of the pocket cards. These are the Mary Engelbright ones. And then I've got double stacked the 4x6, and then I have 3x4 bins on top of these ones, and that's where I put the other 3x4 cards and all the cut aparts that I cut out. So those are all really easily accessible now. And then I've got some tiles and some other items there. The folder back here is the tissue paper. So again, all that tissue is in one area, and tags, so basically embellishments and tissue. And I fit these back in here, so I guess I'm holding on to them for a little while longer. So this drawer, 2 bins, paper, scraps, dictionary. The old magazines are laying on the bottom, some bags, and then this is that bin full of random library papers. Okay, so what's missing? The 6x6 paper pads. So I just couldn't get these to work. Once I put that folder in, it ate up all the space where the 6x6 pads were. So these are going to go with my 6x6 paper pads, another sort of logical choice. And yeah, we will deal with them again, I'm sure, when I go through 6x6. Oh, and I forgot to show you the washi tape. If you had seen a recent Smash Your Stash where I was using up old embellishments, I had kept a bunch of small bits and bobs in these drawers. These were originally my washi tape storage, which sort of has resorted back to being that. But what I did was all of this vintage stuff I'm going to keep separate from my regular, just because I use it differently. And the rest of these bins, I have sorted the hearts and stars by colors in here. So now instead of 2 bins packed full, not sorted by color, I now have different sections for each. So I have one more unit like this with the other colors. I hope that makes sense. I think that is it for today. Hope you guys are inspired. Again, I'm a big believer in one little bit at a time, and I encourage you to do the same with your space. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, happy organizing.